The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan, we feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take all back, rise up, take it all back, rise up. Hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
So it's
All right, that should have worked. Turn off hear myself, so everybody should be able to hear me now. Great, I just did that whole thing muted. Great. What's up, Jay Sparks? How are you doing? Gonna turn on the sound? I was thinking maybe I'll just have a great conversation by myself and you all can look on. Wonder what he's talking about. I don't know. Maybe y'all should get better at reading lips. All right. So happy Thursday. I messed that up originally, but since little girl was not paying attention if I had sound or not, well,
I heard you, but
yeah, I know you heard me. This is why we're not making it to the big times, but you know what? It's fun anyway, so what the hell ever. Anyway, happy Thursday to everybody. Today was kind of interesting. Well, not really that interesting, to be honest. I forgot what day it was. I thought it was Wednesday. I hate this work at home crap, right? The only thing that we kind of did, I haven't even printed anything. I mean, I printed a tool carrier for the 3D printer, but I haven't done anything else. And right now we're waiting on some other plastic filament, which is basically what you feed it, that is a little bit more durable. A little bit more, yeah, durable. That's a great word, durable. But that's pretty much it. We did go to the post office, though, and if you remember a while ago, we had somebody who was like, hey, I'm going to send you something. I live in Arizona, too, and now that everything's legalized, hey, you mind if I send you something? I was like, well, I have a P.O. box. You can send it to that. But I have no idea what you're trying to send me, and it better be legal on your end because I take no responsibility for it, right? So we go to the post office, and we had been looking for a while. This was back, I think, in November. Right? They sent that?
November, December, something like
November or December, yeah. It was not like recent. This was a while
that.
ago.
It was supposed to be a Christmas present.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Christmas. Thank you, real girl. Thank you. Well, it never came and we kept checking. Well, I did get a letter in the mail today. And I'll kind of read it to you. It's a little hilarious, to be honest. First of all, the guy who sent us this stuff, don't use your name. Don't use your real name, bro. Come on. There's things that you don't do, and that's like number one. Well, I hope it's not. I mean, I guess I could be wrong. It is a pretty common one. I'm not going to say it. But, dear postal customer, the purpose of this letter is to advise you that pursuant to 39 U.S.C. 3001 and the U.S. Postal Service regulations, an item placed into the U.S. Postal Service mail stream is currently being withheld from delivery as there are reasonable grounds to believe its contents are non-mailable as prescribed by the U.S. Postal Service Publication 52, Hazardous, Restricted, and Perishable Mail. Our attempts to contact you and the sender to obtain additional information have been unsuccessful. I don't remember them calling us or sending us a letter. Specific concerning of this mailing are listed below. It gives the person's name and address that sent it, which I will not be reading here, to me and my P.O. box. If you do not understand the reason this letter is being sent to you, or if you wish to discuss this matter, provide evidence that the mail does not contain non-mailable items, or to make arrangement for the sender to retrieve the mail piece, please call this number and press 4. Please provide the reference number listed above. I don't know. Basically, it's saying that if within 21 days of this letter, no action is taken by the sender or the recipient or the agent to address the determination of non-mailability of the mail piece, it will be deemed abandoned and unclaimed pursuant to Postal Operations Manual, yada, yada, yada. So I don't know. I guess I'll probably just not say anything. Maybe I should and be like, hey, man, I'm not... You wouldn't blame the Unabomber's victims on, getting the mail. Don't blame me. I just have the P.O. box. People send me what they want to send me. You know what I mean? Still illegal to send cannabis in the mail, government agency. Yeah, I know, man. I had said that, right? I've said that a few times. Oh, it's legal now. You should be able to do all that. No, federal. It's a federal thing. Yeah, but it's state ran. Dude, stop smoking long enough to realize, no, bro, you can't just send it through the USPS mail. Oh, man. So that made me laugh. That made me laugh. All right. Someone's in big trouble. I don't know. We'll see. I doubt it, to be honest.
It would be really dumb to call them and be like, oh, I want to retrieve the package. I think that would be really dumb.
Probably. Someone's in bug trouble and big. Yeah, I got it. All right, cool. Oh, that's the wrong one. Gates blast Never Trump colleagues' efforts to primary him, saying, fucking bring it, brah. Did he actually say the F word? I wonder if he did. It looks like he's pissed off. It looks like he's in front of Gotham right now, going to talk about how the crime in Gotham have gotten out of control. I don't know why that just came to my mind, but anyway, Matt Gaetz from Florida blasted anti-Trump Adam Kinzinger on Wednesday after Kinzinger launched a political action committee to purge the GOP of pro-Trump politicians. Adam is a patriot who fought for America and Northwest Florida. We will always appreciate and honor his service. Now he wants to target my Americans First politics, referencing me by name. My response on Twitter, fucking bring it. Adam needs PACs to win elections. I don't. Kinzinger responded with an animated GIF from the film Top Gun, which shows the lead character pulling off a difficult aerial maneuver and outsmarting his adversary. Really? Okay. Adam is a patriot. Yada, yada, yada. Ready. Kinzinger's Country First PAC will challenge the pro-Trump direction the Republican Party has taken, according to Illinois' congressman. He says Republicans' unwillingness to hold Trump accountable for his role in January 6th get-together, as well as the party's support of lawmakers such as Representative Marjorie Greene, led him to launch the fund. Let's take a look at the last 4 years, how far we have come in a bad way, Kinzinger told NBC News. How backward looking are we? How much we peddle darkness and division. And that's not the party I ever signed up for. And that's, I think, most Republicans didn't sign up for that. Division? Division. Did we actually get more divided as a nation under Trump or less? Take Hollywood, take DC out of it. Like rural America, 99% of America. Were we closer as Americans or further apart? Doesn't mean that we don't need to fight back, to defend what we believe, conservative principles, he added. But when I ask people now, what is a conservative principle? How many people think that the conservative principles are things just like build the wall and, charge the Capitol and have insurrection? Just the few little things you do on a whim. Personally, our nation defends many people's borders around the world and help put up fences and walls on borders all around the world. Mexico has a southern border wall and does not like people crossing it illegally. Why is it only racist if America doesn't? Obama the Great Divider for her Gardner friends. Gardner friends? I missed that conversation. Marjorie Wildcat is sending 3.5 grams of hemp to people for her Gardner friends. Really? Better hope they let it go, whoever sent it. Yeah. I forget exactly what his YouTube handle was. I wouldn't probably say even if I remember, just because I don't want to add to that. But if you're watching or if I talk to him again, I'll probably bring that up. So this guy wants to go back to Republican, like Mitt Romney versus Obama. George Bush versus, or not George Bush, but McCain versus Obama, right? Those people, what doesn't matter. That's exactly what they want to go back to. See, and I told y'all know, not a fan of Trump, but it was against the status quo, and the status quo has this game figured out, and they're desperately trying to get back to that game they love so much, making you pretend to have a choice or allowing you to think that you have a choice, right versus left. Gates and Kingser have exchanged jabs once before when Gates traveled to Wyoming to lead a rally against Liz Cheney from Wyoming after she voted to impeach former President Trump. There you go. To be clear here, some in the Freedom Club, not all, some, have been trying to cancel at Liz Cheney for years. She doesn't bend to their intimidation because, after all, they aren't that intimidating. Well, also, that's the only thing they're legally, I guess not legally, that's the only thing they are able to do for money other than, what do they do? What does somebody do when they run and they've been in office all their lives, and they run and they lose, and then they run again in 4 years or whenever the next one's up, right? And you see them back and you're like, well, what have you been doing for the last 4 years? Because it ain't a job. You don't see them washing cars down at the local laundromat or wherever you wash cars at, right? That's all they have. That's all they have. Come at me, bro. Yeah. Facebook, this was a late addition. Facebook says it's going to begin ranking political content to depoliticize the platform. I haven't read it. I'm just intrigued by the headline. There has been this trend, I think, across society where a lot of things have become politicized, and politics has a way of creeping into everything. It does. Because if you come at me with purple hair and talking about your genders, I already know everything I need to know about you. And probably the same thing for me if I come in there with a "Don't Tread on Me" flag shirt, and whatever. Facebook plans to rank political content in order to depoliticize its platform and reduce the amount of political material users see on their news feeds. Over the next few months, we will work to better understand people's varied preferences for political content and test a number of approaches based on those insights, the social media company announced on Wednesday. As a first step, we'll temporarily reduce the distribution of political content in news feeds for a small percentage of people in Canada, Brazil, and Indonesia this week, and the U.S. in the coming weeks, it said. During these initial tests, we will explore a variety of ways to rank political content in people's feeds using different signals, and then decide on the approaches we'll use going forward. You can already see this, making sure that you get the official news first. Sure, they'll throw Fox News in there, CNN, all the trusted names in news, right? Facebook Mark Zuckerberg said late last month that he thinks there is too much political content on the platform. There has been this trend, I think, across society where a lot of things have become politicized, and politics has a kind of way of creeping into everything, he said during a conference call. A lot of feedback that we see on forums of our communities is that people don't want it in their experience. You could turn that off. How about that? Could we just have it turn it off? But the problem with that is it still wouldn't turn it off, because guess what? If you watch a Jeep commercial, you're going to get your little bit of politics right there. Now it's time for us all to come together, and we can finally move forward as a country now that we got somebody out that half the country voted for. Okay. The great lie is that we are divided in the first place. When you go into public, when you go and interact with strangers, does it seem like we're divided when Tom McDonald is number 2 and 3? Is America's left, as they say, it's all a big lie. The political left is actually a minority, but they want you to believe that there is a majority. Well, yeah, you are right when you go out in the real world. It is better But there are many times I know by looking at somebody in the store that I'm not going to have a conversation with them just because that's a dangerous thing going forward. At least a lot of people do advertise, right? You can see somebody and be like, yep, that checks these boxes here. Don't want to talk to you. Okay, have a great day. Please ring me up correctly and don't overcharge me. I would like plastic, please. I don't give a crap about the environment. I'm taking plastic because it's convenient and I can recycle it and pick up my dog shit. Like a good citizen. You know, here's one thing I saw on our walk today. A lot of trash over at the college.
Yeah.
The college. GCU. It's a liberal college. There's a lot of liberals that go there, right? They have this really nice grassy area where I'm guessing people go and have their lunch. And I say, I guess they have their lunch because all I saw scattered all over that was their trash from their food. You're so worried about global warming and pollution and all these things, and you just leave. Not only are you not eating things in recyclable containers, but you're also not recycling or throwing away your own garbage. Things that just make me pissed. What's up, Quantum Lotus? How are you doing? We were talking about you yesterday. I don't remember what we were saying.
I sent you the name of the person in Discord if you want to know who that was.
Oh, okay. I have met a stench anti-gunner in California. I bet you have. A staunch anti-gunner. There are plenty of anti-gunners in real world. Maybe you need to get out more. I mean, I definitely agree with you that it's not as bad as if you watch the news all the time. It's not that bad out in the real world, but there are quite a few people. And speaking of firearms, apparently this Minnesota health clinic didn't have their sign that said no firearm policy. Because he walked right in there, didn't see it, and kept on going. A man who shot 5 staff members at a Minnesota health clinic this week shot 2 of them in the reception area before heading back to where the patients are being treated and shot 3 others, including a medical assistant and a mother of 2 who died of her wounds. Authorities say in a criminal charges filed Thursday. Why do I carry in the doctor's office? There's a reason. Gregory Paul Ulrich, 67, also allegedly set off 2 explosive devices during Tuesday's attack in a Alenia clinic in Buffalo, a city of about 15,000 people, roughly 40 miles, northwest of Minneapolis. He is charged with 1 count of second-degree murder, 4 counts of attempted first-degree premeditated murder, which it's redundant. It's the same thing. 1 count of possessing an explosive device and 1 count of carrying a pistol without a permit. This is that stacking that we were talking about, right? They're gonna add on to his murder because he was carrying a pistol without a permit. That's ridiculous. During a brief court hearing Thursday that was held via video, the judge ordered Ulrich to be held on a $10 million bail or $5 million if he agreed to certain conditions. Ulrich, who attended from jail, didn't speak except to tell the judge how to pronounce his name. During a brief, I already read that. According to the charges, when Ulrich entered the clinic, staff asked if they could help him. In response, he pulled out a 9mm handgun and threatened them before he opened fire. Shooting one of the staff members in the back and another in the abdomen, he went into the clinic's interior and continued firing on victims, shooting a 3rd person twice in the upper leg as that person was trying to flee, and a 4th person 6 times, including in the chest, abdomen, and back. His 5th victim, who died from her wounds, was shot in the abdomen and the bullet passed through her liver and spine before exiting through her back. According to the charges, Alina identified her as Lindsay Overbay, a 37-year-old medical assistant who had 2 young children, according to family and friends. 3 of the victims remain hospitalized Wednesday, with one in critical condition, one in fair condition, and the other in good condition. The fourth surviving victim was discharged hours after the attack. During the attack, Ulrich detonated 2 improvised explosive devices, one at the clinic's entrance and the other near a desk in the clinic's interior. When the attack was over, Ulrich called 911 and said he would surrender if officers backed away, according to the charges. Officers entered the clinic using a squad car as a shield and found Ulrich lying in the entryway with his arms outstretched. He didn't off himself. Interesting. I'm kind of curious why. He had several rounds of ammunition on him when he was arrested, including 2 loaded 9mm magazines, one with 13 rounds of ammunition and the other with 7. Well, that's under 10. That's good. The charges state he also had 29 additional rounds of ammunition in a plastic bag. Like a grocery bag? This is why you take plastic. See what I'm saying? Authorities also searched a mobile home where he lived and found gunpowder similar to the material used in the improvised explosive devices that detonated at the clinic. They found a empty box of 9mm ammunition in a nearby motel where he'd been staying, probably loaded in magazines. A preliminary examination of his cell phone revealed that a rambling video he made alluded to an incident at the clinic. The charges state Buffalo Police Chief Pat Buddick said Tuesday that Ulrich had a long history of conflict with medical clinics in the area and was unhappy with the care he'd received. According to a prior police report, Ulrich threatened to carry out a mass shooting at the clinic on October 13, 2018, two years ago, with a doctor telling investigators that he had talked about shooting, blowing things up, and practicing different scenarios of how to get revenge. The doctor said that Ulrich told him he dreamed about exacting revenge on the people who tortured him, referring to issues he had with back surgeries and the medication he was prescribed. I would be curious on what medications he was on. You know what I'm saying. All right, let's see. Most of them college students are going to grow up and get out in the real world and realize it's not all safe zones and a gun-free zone to wherever not, and wake up and be conservative. Maybe. Here's the thing. A lot of people, obviously we know where we're at politically. Like, there's a lot of people that are more woke or more left-leaning, right? They're more left-leaning because we had a lot of people going through the colleges and they just got told that that's what they should believe, right? Well, now that has developed conservatism as an anti-culture thing. You remember when it was cool to rebel against your parents? You know, my mom didn't want me to get tattoos, didn't want me looking at pornography, didn't want me smoking cigarettes. So what did I do when I turned 18? I got a tattoo, I got a pack of cigarettes and a dirty magazine. It's exactly what I did. And that's the same thing that's going to happen now. Now that all these liberal parents, right? It's going to be cool. Be like, I like the Constitution. Screw you, Billy. That's not how I raised you. You use your words, not your gun. Yep, they started working and see the BS Irish plastic bags. Dude, I'm telling you, man, plastic bags, they're awesome, but they are dangerous. 1996, UK had their guns taken. This cannot happen, guys. The bill is saying you need a license and insurance. That's the newest bill. Yeah. Did you sign your petitions and all that stuff to ask them and tell them, hey, we don't like what you're doing? I don't appreciate you taking away my rights. Stop that. I'm going to use my words. Did you use your words, Quantum Lotus? Did you use your words? OMG, have you used your words, Irish USMC vet? I signed it. I did. What does it matter? You know what? Free men don't ask permission. And 3D printer go burr. HR 127. Mine was smoking ganja. Nice. If you use clear plastic, they won't try to take it off the face. Oh, yeah. Plastic bag. The bill had it passed the last 5 times that it was submitted. Say no to HR 127. Yeah. We touched upon it, but I don't have it in the rotation tonight. But Irish, I'm pretty sure you have that link for that sign that no to HR 127. If you want to put in, asking our government to do what we want as a link, that would be great. Okay, how many guns are still in the UK? How many people have to be complied with it? Just like New Zealand, they had to do another gun confiscation because nobody complied with it. I have no idea how many guns are in England. I know there's a lot less gun violence now, right? There's a lot less gun violence, but unfortunately, there's a lot more assaults and actual violence. Like, it's gotten worse, right? So Sweden, I talked to a guy from Sweden who had gotten attacked by a guy with a knife and got cut up real bad, almost died. In fact, one of his friends did die, right? This guy went on a mass stabbing and he had survived, but he has a lot of survivor's guilt. And I was talking to him about what can you do for self-defense, and my goodness, you can't do a damn thing. If you self-defend, you have to contemplate how hard they're coming at you, and you have to react with the appropriate amount of defense if you can't run. But you're not allowed to carry a knife either. They have knife rules, just like we have gun laws. Actually, their knife laws are worse than our gun laws, even in California, right? They can't carry a knife. I don't even think they can carry a pocket knife. And they sure as hell can't use it for self-defense. And if they can take a pocket knife, it's a really, really small pocket knife. Yet this guy's got a blade and going on a stabbing spree. And meanwhile, you're going to have to try to figure out, okay, how much can I defend myself here? Because if I over defend myself, then I'm the one going to jail. And that's Sweden. So when you think about our Constitution, you think about God has created all men equal and God-given rights under the Constitution. A lot of people forget that it's not just Americans. We should be upset and pissed off for every country, for everyone who wants the ability to defend themselves and cannot. Of course, that's a lot harder to do when we're having such a hell of a time here in our country, but at least thee not forget there are other people as well. Yeah, stabbings and acid attacks. Yep. Okay, so Irish did post a link. If you want to sign the bill to say no to HR 127, click that link for me. There are still shootings. Only thugs and cops have them. BS. Yeah, pretty much. Clues dim. Impeach managers. Invoke fake civil nature. Get state wrong twice. Think back to August 2017 when a young woman was murdered during a whites gathering rally in Charlottesville, West Virginia. So this is going to have something to do with the impeachment trial that's going on. Have you guys been following that? I haven't. So this is why we're going to be catching up on it right now. As Dems enter into the second full day of tedious and belabored impeachment arguments to claim that former President Trump incited the violence at the U.S. Capitol, the long-debunked canard of the 2017 riots in Charlottesville surfaced several times. President Joe Biden and others have drawn harsh criticism for promoting a false narrative claiming that white people were coming out of the fields in the largely urban area around the University of Virginia's landmark Rotunda. Others have repeatedly taken out of context Trump's comments regarding very fine people on both sides of the conflict, deceptively suggesting it was a dog whistle show of support for them groups, when in fact Trump had just finished condemning violent extremists. And here's the thing. Yesterday we got into a conversation with somebody who was totally okay with the impeachment of a private citizen. And we can disagree on a lot of things. And he was definitely under the impression that it's totally fine, it's totally constitutional because, you know, Trump incited a riot or a thing. But here's the thing. I would love to know, did he think that Trump was acting badly during Charlottesville? Because I watched that speech, and he definitely called him out. Absolutely, definitely called him out. How we are now worried that we have to get all these Trump supporters out of politics because, you know, we got to get away from that divisiveness. When we have somebody who's doing more for the black community, more for the Hispanic community, right? More for the American community than any other president ever did, and did not get us into another war, might I add. Have we been in a war in the last 4 years? No. Did he get us out of everything? No. But at least he didn't start anything new. And everybody thought we were going to go into nuclear war with Korea. We actually might now. We'll see. Leading the impeachment manager, Jamie Ratkinson used a heavily spliced montage to do both misleading, distorting the Charlottesville violence and Trump's reaction to it, as Breitbart reported. Rankin claimed that the neo-Nazis and the Klansmen and the Proud Boys invaded the city, the great city of Charlottesville, and killed Heather Heyer. However, the groups have been given a permit to protest, and despite the efforts of leftist government officials to prevent the organization Unite the Right rally against the illegal removal of 2 Confederate statues, courts had sided with the protesters. Here's the thing. When did we get away with standing up for somebody else's First Amendment right? Growing up. And I'm sure y'all have these stories. I don't know. You let me know in the comments. Growing up, I'm not liking racism. All right? The Klan, yeah, filled with a lot of hate. Right? A lot of things that should never happen. Their view of what should happen in America is not my view of what should happen in America. However, even though I disagree with them wholeheartedly, I want them to have the ability to speak. I want them to be able to go on their march. I want them to be on YouTube. I want them to have their YouTube videos, because what happens when you take away that from them? The same thing that they're doing to all of us now. First of all, nobody stood up when Alex Jones got deplatformed. Why? Because it was Alex Jones. I don't even like Alex Jones. But once again, I come from a long history of allow whoever to say it no matter what. And that goes for the people on the left, too. If Antifa wants to march and talk about frying cops in bacon, or pigs in a blanket frying like bacon, by all means, do it. Because what that does is it shines a light on those people. And now Alex Jones is probably more popular than ever, right? You don't actually suppress anything. You just drive it underground. And that's all you do. He didn't incite anything. He said, I'm sure some of you will march over to the Capitol. Biden is itching for one. 96% of what Jones Tark. Okay. As I said, I'm not an Alex Jones fan. I'm not saying he doesn't get some things right. I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. All right. But at the same time, he pushes his merch, which is mostly stuff that you ingest into your body, which, you know, I'm not really a fan of that. But he's too eccentric, right? How can you take somebody seriously when he goes off on his tirades and rips his shirt off and I got to see your bare chest and you're like, seriously, it's high strung, bro. Calm it down. I mean, I know that's his personality, but it comes across so off-putting that it makes it so people that would give him a chance won't even give him a chance because they don't know if he's seriously like that, which if that's the case, he needs medication. or if he's a plant, or all sorts of other, or if he's even serious. Maybe he's just doing it for the lulz. You know what I mean? Radical leftist groups such as Antifa, who did not have a permit, played a large role in inciting the violence, and the police were directed by officials, including Governor Terry McAuliffe, a stooge of the Clintons, to stand down and allow the fighting to escalate in order to speed along the declaration of an unlawful assembly. Really? Well, that's what they're saying. What do you guys, did you guys look into Charlottesville? Were they told to back off so they can get into a fight? While Dems have long shown that the specific details about the Charlottesville riots were irrelevant, I can't say it, the big picture of the orange man equals racist narrative, Raskin's video revealed just how immaterial the actual facts were by using the wrong state. Rather than correctly identifying the state of the great city home to Thomas Jefferson, Monticello, and the University of Virginia, the video incorrectly claimed that it was North Carolina. To make matters worse, Representative Diana DeGate later brought up Charlottesville again in the proceedings, this time adding yet another state. Think back to August 2017, when a young woman was murdered during a white gathering in Charlottesville. Her daughter's murderer was held to account, she continued, but our nation did not impose any accountability on a president who at the time said that there were very fine people on both sides. Trump's attorneys were roundly criticized during the opening arguments on Tuesday for seeming to have less cohesive presentation than Democrats. That prompted Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana to flip his vote in support of the proceedings. Yeah, we read about that guy the other day. Others, like staunch Trump ally Ted Cruz, was obligated to justify their vote against it in the face of what mainstream media deemed undeniable evidence of guilt. Trial by media. It remains unclear whether the unforced errors from the House Democrats' JV team will likewise result in any Democrats flipping their votes to the support of Trump. However, given the disrespect shown to his state, Senator Joe Manchin may face additional pressure from his constituents to reject the false narratives. Talks about is true. You using your speech to talk again? Did Dems strategically suicide the police to boost sham impeachment? What do you think about this? Maybe it's the Dems who were playing the 5D chess the whole time. That could have happened. I heard her speech. It was disgusting. She quoted the Washington Post. I think they had her speech here. Yeah, it's a video. How long is it? Oh. Quick. I like quick videos. So, those watching Democrats' impeachment mulligan this week are treated to hours of recycled tweets and heavily edited footage of the January 6th uprising at the U.S. Capitol, alongside with a melodramatic narration of the events by a partisan House managers. Not surprisingly, seeing the footage on screen left media hacks like ABC's George Stephanopoulos visibly shaken. According to eyewitness reports, clearly that translates to guilt for the former President Trump, who was accused of inciting the so-called riot. But amid all the tendium, as it is often the case with Democrat hoaxes, the devil is really in the details. Among those was the bizarre decision to lump two suicides to date and several tangible medical emergencies with casualties that resulted directly from confrontations at the Capitol. The riots that day left at least 7 people dead. Wow, it was 3, then it was 4, now it's 7. Oh, no, falsely claimed yet again on Thursday. Okay. I was going to say, we just keep increasing that number. And for one, some of them got shot unarmed. I have that in the intro, right? The lady who got shot unarmed. So she broke a window. If she even did, I don't even know if she broke it or whatever. She was just there at the wrong place at the wrong time, right? Because she went up to the Capitol, because she walked into a house that is technically our house. It is technically your and my American taxpayers' house. It is public property. We are supposed to be able to go there. It is our government. We just allow them to run it for us. That's why we are a republic. So don't get on me that they went there illegally. That's our fucking house. And she didn't even go there armed, and she got shot and killed. Let's talk about her life. Can we do that? The left's insistence on pushing the dubious narrative raises further questions about how motivated Trump's political adversaries may have been in establishing it in the first place. Might the need to neutralize Trump in 2024 have compelled them to rely upon the modus operandi typically reserved for large-scale cover-up operations like those involving Seth Rich and Jeffrey Epstein, who obviously 100% killed himself? Following months of rhetoric in their radical base frequently called for violence against law enforcement, would leftists in Congress have thought twice about dispatching with officers who could lay down their lives in service of the greater globalist good? Most coverage of House Democrats' impeachment case focused on allegations that Trump incited political violence apropos of nothing, ignoring prior Democratic actions that violated the Constitution or rhetoric that raised the national barometer. Repeated, they hammered the phrase, the big lie, borrowed from socialist leader Adolf Hitler as a sort of sleight of hand to distract the public and the senators sitting in judgment from their actual strategy. Meanwhile, true to their Chinese overlords, Eric Swalwell, this one's heavily opinionated, by the way. Sorry for the heavily opinion. Usually I like to put in my opinions and not have them put in theirs. Meanwhile, yep. And others use the death by 1,000 cuts method to warp the narrative entirely through their multiple minor distortions of facts that would seem so trivial and insignificant, or else so verboten due to sensitivity that no one would challenge them. For example, they built the harrowing timeline around the close calls the lawmakers had, being minutes or feet away from unruly mob, while ignoring the fact that many of those who let into the Capitol behaved civilly and orderly once inside. Did they burn down Nancy Pelosi's office? They did steal her podium. Once again, that's coming out of our taxpayer money. So technically, that's like breaking your own window. Guess who has to pay for it? You do. The strategy clearly was intended to elicit emotional response rather than an objective, fact-driven one, despite leading impeachment manager Jamie Raskin early promises to focus only on the facts. That's a long story. I'm ending it there. No speech for you. Why can't I donate lemons? Grr. Oh, Quantum Lotus, you can donate lemons. You have to buy them first. So go, there's a place to buy lemons. So you have to buy them and then you can donate them. Go. Reach it, PS. The cops opened the doors for most of them. They did. And we all know that there was some bad actors in there too, but good luck proving that. You did? You bought some? Dude, I don't know. I've checked it. Riddle Girl checked it. Said that she did donate me lemons, so I think that's a you problem. Sorry to hear that, though. I really am. Okay. Energy metals lead the charge. Not just gold and silver. There are other metals to invest in. Gold and silver aren't the only viable plays in the metal space. They aren't currently the leaders. On Wednesday, both copper and platinum rallied up to multi-year highs. Rhodium, meanwhile, currently commands $21,000 per ounce, making it the most valuable element on the planet. You did? I don't know what to tell you. And you didn't open the chest last night? I didn't?
Yeah, there's nothing to give right now. There's only 1.1 lemons in there.
I had given out stuff last night. Hold on. Let's see. 1.9. Maybe I have to buy some lemons, huh? No, I have a whole bunch of lemons, so I should be able to throw some in there, right?
Yeah, you can put some in the chest.
All right. Let's put in that many. How's that?
Now you should be able to distribute them.
Okay. I'm going to distribute rewards. Good luck, everybody. Thank you for watching me on DLive. Let's see. What's driving these energy metals besides ongoing currency depreciation and the risk of higher inflation, which will help boost all hard assets over time? Rising demand for electricity in general and electric vehicles in particular. President Joe Biden recently decreed that the federal government must transition its entire fleet of cars, vans, and trucks to electric motors. That's just for starters. Who got it? Irish and Quantum Lotus split it. Nice. Congratulations, guys. The next administration aims to mandate that all new vehicles sold in the United States are electric. So if you think this thing is not going to light up, if you think that this country is going to still somehow move on for the next few years, which it totally could be, then I would definitely think about investing in some of these. There was 50 last night. Yeah, I know. I added more. I gave those away. The Quantum, I did hand out the rewards yesterday. I just did it after the chat was over. I came back on and then I did it because Irish reminded me. You guys are going to have to remind me on that once in a while here and there, okay? The Zero Emission Transport Association, a lobbying group backed by Tesla and other corporate interests, is pushing for the abolition of gasoline-powered cars by 2030, which is only 9 years away. Never mind that such a move would mean more burning of coal and natural gas to generate the electricity needed for all these zero-emission vehicles. That's hilarious. It would also require the mining of millions more tons of base metals, including copper and nickel. By the way, if you're not keeping your copper pennies, you should be, because eventually they're going to do away with the penny. And when they do, you can have what it's worth in copper. And the last time I checked was 3 cents per penny. That is all copper. Obviously, you'd need a lot, but, you know, if you're already looking through your change, why not? The need for copper is exponentially greater in electric vehicles as compared to conventional cars. A typical gas-powered car requires about 30 pounds of copper. A battery-powered electric vehicle averages a massive 180 pounds of copper, 6 times as much. According to the International Copper Study Group, at the heart of the electric vehicle, copper is used throughout because of its high electrical conductivity, durability, and malleability. And it's even more used in charging stations and supporting electric grid infrastructure. So there you go. Look into other metals. Look into putting money in Tesla. Right now, I wouldn't buy Tesla unless it was over $1,000 or under. So I wouldn't buy Tesla unless it was under $1,000 per share, but at the same time, I am not a financial advisor, not even by a little bit. So make sure you look into your own thing on that. As far as the other metals, yeah, look into it. People going to be stealing copper. They were already stealing copper. You remember back in 2008 with the housing crisis, how many people's homes got their copper stripped out of them? It's the same thing. They do make copper coins. They made a whole bunch. I even have a copper 45 caliber bullet that I was going to give away on Irish's giveaway, but that never happened. Irish, if you ever do decide to have that giveaway again, let me know. I still give out that bullet. -1 degree in Nebraska. Wow. Copper pennies are 82 and older. Yes, well, half of 82. So not all 82 pennies are copper. Half of them are zinc, and you have to weigh them in order to find out. 81, and you have to weigh. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Irish. I love taking things apart and taking scrap metal, says Quantum Lotus. I haven't done a lot of that. I hope to. I'm having a lot of fun with the 3D printer, though. I'll tell you that much. Yes, cell phones, motherboards. I love taking things apart. Okay, cool. This is a CNN article that Riddle Girl sent me. You carry copper rounds? Yeah, they might be copper jacketed, but that's not something you're going to take off and sell for bread. North Carolina man has been charged with making threats to do away with President Joe Biden, according to a federal criminal complaint unsealed in court Thursday. David Kyle Reeves, gotta love it how they use all three names, of Gastonia, North Carolina, was arrested February 5th for knowingly and willfully making threats to take the life of and inflict bodily harm upon the president, according to newly unsealed court documents. Prosecutors allege that between January 28th and February 1st, Reeves contacted the White House switchboard multiple times by phone and made threats against President Biden and others. In one call, Reeves is accused of saying he was going to kill everyone and chop your heads off. According to the criminal complaint, the complaint also alleges a Secret Service agent contacted Reeves to discuss the threats. Reeves called the agent several times throughout the day, making threats against the president and other agents. Did he give him his phone number? Like, hey, man, if you have any problem, here's my card. Give me a call anytime. And then did he then spend all that time threatening him over the phone? That would be funny. Reeves told Secret Service agent that he had free speech and did nothing wrong. According to affidavit in the support of the criminal complaint, Reeves appeared before a North Carolina federal judge on Thursday and was ordered to remain in custody. Mr. Reeves has pled not guilty, receiving appropriate mental health evaluations. His attorney, Kevin Tate, senior litigation counsel for the office in the federal public defender for the yada, 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 yada. Reeves is being held in that jail. The charge of making threat against the president of the United States carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Well, that's not bad. Only 5 years? He's definitely not going to get 5 years. I mean, look at him. He's cute. He's totally the face of the white nationalist. Oh, man. No, solid copper. Nice. Your penetrators. I just keep lots of lead on hand. I have a few tools to make it into freedom seeds. Yeah, I'm looking at getting into a little bit more of the reloading aspect. I did get my subsonic molds, but when it comes to primers, that has always been the issue. I can even make black powder if I had to. But it's going to get to that at some point. At some point, you're going to have to know how to make all these components yourself. And I think that's getting closer and closer, to be honest. And in a sad note, Hustler publisher Larry Flint dies at the age of 78. Take off your hat. He's an interesting individual. If you've never seen the movie about his life, I would definitely suggest you go do so. It's an interesting movie. Larry Flint, who built Hustler magazine into an adult empire, was championing the First Amendment rights, died Wednesday. He was 78. Flint had been in frail health and died of heart failure in his Hollywood Hills home, said his nephew, Jimmy Flint Jr. From his beginnings, strip club owner, to his reign as the founder of one of the most explicit adult-oriented magazines, Flint consistently challenged the establishment and became a target for the religious right and feminist groups. In fact, he got shot in the back and paralyzed from the waist down and did not let that stop him. Flint's company not only produced Hustler, but other niche publications. He owned a video production company, various websites, a Los Angeles area casino, and 10 Hustler boutiques. He also licensed the Hustler name to independently owned strip clubs. That's cool. With a fortune estimated at over $100 million, Flint spent his later years in the political arena. When Governor Gary Davis was recalled by California voters in 2003, Flint was among 135 candidates who ran to replace him. He called himself a smut peddler who cares, and gathered more than 15,000 votes. That's hilarious. A self-described progressive, Flint was no fan of former President Donald Trump. Before the 2016 election, he offered up to $1 million for a video or audio recording of Trump's engaging in illegal or sexually demeaning or derogatory activity. So not a great, patriot that way, but I'll tell you what, he did stand up for free speech. And I'm glad he did. I don't think that, that's a great thing for our young women to be doing, right? It's not great. But at the same time, you have every right to damn do it. A guy, maybe you should spend more time with your wife and less time with the magazine. But you know what? As a God-fearing American, you do you, right? It's none of my business what you do. The thing is, he went for freedom of speech, but at the same time, we can't have freedom of speech anymore. And lastly, it's sad. Jeep had to pull that Super Bowl ad because Springsteen is now facing DWI charges. Pedos are porn stars. Porn stars have a choice. There you go. That's a good one. If it's a sin, I hope you repented. It's a sin. I hope you. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. It's none of my business. I really do not care at all. That is up between him and whoever he meets. None of my business. Been looking for some, and that was before the COOF last year. What are you looking for, Gerald B? Oh, my Underwood ammo up here. You got like Underwood ammo for what? Like 10 millimeter? I've heard it's good for 10 millimeter, but what else? What else is Underwood ammo good for? Personally, my favorite self-defense round is HST. I am not a fan of over-penetration. I don't care how many times OMG says it. It is not a good thing. Oh, I have to make sure I bust through glass. You're not always going to have to bust through glass. Now, it's your job with what you do. Yeah, maybe, I guess, your gun in your truck. But when you're out and about with the wife and kids in town doing whatever you're doing, are you carrying extreme penetrators? Because what if you are in the supermarket and somebody opens fire? You're going to hit the guy, the cashier, and the bagger with an extreme penetrator. And just my opinion. As I said, I'm not going to get on to that. Bruce Springsteen is facing a drunk driving charge in New Jersey, prompting Jeep to put a pause on the Super Bowl television commercial that features him, removing it from his YouTube and Twitter accounts. That's sad. You can't even see it on YouTube anymore. I'm sure people clipped that. Springsteen was arrested November 14th before the Super Bowl in a part of the Gateway National Recreation Area of New Jersey's coast, and a spokesperson for the National Park Service confirmed on Wednesday. The park is a yada yada, spring spill, yada yada. He's received citations for driving while under the influence, reckless driving, consuming alcohol in a closed area. It's okay, he's Bruce Springsteen. A message that was left seeking comment with Springsteen's publishers. The news of the arrest came on the heels of two high-profile appearances by Springsteen. On January 20th, Springsteen performed as part of President Joe Biden's inauguration, singing Land of Hope and Dreams in front of the Lincoln Memorial. During the Super Bowl, he appeared in a Jeep ad and filmed in Kansas that urged people to find common ground and promoted unity in the United States. Oh, that's great. The use of Springsteen, an adherent Trump hater, as a celebrity to attempt to foster a reunite States of America that should meant in the middle as an ad put it was not received well by many of the former president's estimated 75 million plus voters. Jeep released a statement saying it would be inappropriate for us to comment on the details of a matter we have only read about and cannot substantiate. So they're pulling their ad. I thought that was hilarious. That is funny to me. What's up, Bikes and Bullets? How you doing? I've been looking for some, and that was before the... Okay, I don't carry it. You don't carry Underwood? It's in a backup. Okay. I'm happy to report my local Bass Pro is not stealing, i.e. price gouging ammo. I paid pre-shortage price for HST 9 Dude, you're buying it at a box store? Okay, I don't know. I think nowadays with everything that's going on, before the ammo shortage of recent, HST you could buy online. You could buy a 50 round box of 45 for like $24. You could buy a 50 round box of 9mm for like $23. And I stocked up. I had 1,000 rounds of the 9mm HSTs, and I had 500 of the 45s. I still have probably 900, well, probably, I'd say 500-ish 9mm and probably 400 45s, because I have shot them a few times just to have fun with them. And I shot a few of them in water, which was a lot of fun. I still got the projectiles from that. Let's see. Flesh is different than metal, fiberglass, and windshields. Yeah, I'm aware of that. They say, well, I have 4 mags, so a mag full of that would not be a bad thing. Yeah, but do you really? Here's my only issue. I get it. I get it. Different things for different problems, right? I have that with guns, right? I have a bedside gun if I hear an intruder. I have a bedside gun if I hear the police out my door. You know what I mean? 2 different situations. But I don't have to worry about which magazine to put in the firearm. You know what I mean? The magazines are already in the firearms, and everything's already set up for either scenario. I carry 2 mags of DXP and 1 of Underwood. Cool. Do you have a mag carrier? Do you just carry them in your pocket, or is it somewhere else? I never got a mag carrier. I always wanted one. I mean, I've had some cheap ones, but I've never worn them. With the 1911 Dan Wesson, when I carry that, I would really like. I've been thinking about trying to print one, actually. But I would love to have a mag carrier with the Dan Wesson, because, I mean, it's a 1911. But the Jeep ad, bent frames on the Gladiator, and the new Bronco is going to be the demise of Jeep. And Quantum Lotus says, smart. All right, guys. Well, I'm a little bit over time, but I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. If this is your first time here, please check out the descriptions down below. We have causes I believe in and support. If you're looking for a cause to believe in and support, there are some really good ones down there, but none better than Rally Point Irish. My good friend Irish USMC vet is starting a location up in Tennessee where veterans can come and stay room and board free while learning a new life skill like gardening, or farming, actually, farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing to help them out. And in fact, that cause I believe in so much, he gets half of whatever I make on YouTube, which is less now because I am fully demonetized. But you know, it is what it is. Other than that, we have all the places you can follow me. Thank you very much for following me over to Poison Stinger 2, or for those who are on DLive, thank you very much for joining me on DLive. But I am on YouTube. I have 2 channels. We're on the backup channel right now because I got a strike on a video I deleted like last month. I don't know how you get a strike on a video you already deleted, but apparently that's a thing. I am on Gab. I haven't gabbed in a while. I apologize. DLive I'm currently on now. Rumble, I'm looking into, but I'm thinking library or LRBY, although, man, it looks confusing. And I still technically am on Twitter. So those are all the places you can follow me. If you want to support my content without spending a dime, though, liking, commenting, subscribing, and the biggest one of all, sharing the video is the best way to do so. And that's all I got. Sweet. I have a mag carrier I carried chambered, cocked, and locked. You have a mag carrier? Well, I hope you carry cocked and locked. First of all, I carry cocked and hot. I'm usually carrying my Glock, which isn't... Is it cocked? It's a striker fire. I guess it's kind of cocked, right? It's definitely not locked. This is not on it, so I guess that's as much locked as I can get. The Dan Wesson, obviously, it's got a safety, and I do use it, but that's a whole other issue. Personally, I don't know. I've practiced with the Dan Wesson a little bit, not a whole bunch. I gotta say that, you know, learning how to flick that safety off when you draw. For a long time I'd never shot a 1911, so I was always like, that's something extra you got to do. I don't want to have something extra I got to remember. I just want to, you know, get the job done. And I'm still kind of like that. I still think that having an extra thing you have to do before you can defend your life, it's not something I'm about. That's why I have the Glock most of the time. But as I said, the Dan West and the 1911, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. Now, the first gun I ever bought for myself as an adult was the Ruger P95. That had a safety up on the slide. You could not click that with your thumb. You had to use your other hand and move it, or take your, I have small hands. Maybe people with bigger hands could do it, but I couldn't. I had to take my hand off and do that. It's half cocked. Never go out half cocked. Thanks, Riddle and Stinger in chat. No problem. Thanks for showing up, Ralph Mouth. Appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. We're going to be shutting it down now, but I want to let y'all know we're still coming back tomorrow night, Friday night at 7 p.m. So we're going to continue to do the 7 p.m. thing. I'm liking it. Yeah, I'm feeling my life balance. I'm feeling some order in my life, which is really, really nice right now. So we will be back Friday night. We will not be doing a dragon. 1911 draw and shoot is good to go. Practice, practice, practice. Yeah. I need to figure out the last round issue I have with the Dan Wesson in that magazine that makes it, I have a misfeed every last round. There's a nipple on the follower for the magazine, and I've been told to cut it off. I've been told to leave it alone. So we shall see. I'm too scared to cut the damn thing off, and I haven't gone shooting in a while, and every time I think about it, I remind myself how low I am on ammunition for shooting and also primers. Sunday is my B-day. Well, happy birthday, Quantum Lotus. Sunday we won't be doing a chat, but Saturday we have the biblical one. Monday. Remind me again on Monday, and I'll wish you a better happy birthday. But I hope you have a good birthday. All right. That's all I got for you. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope to see you all tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Until then, though, make sure to keep your family close. Watch out for that government and try to live as free as you can in this tyrannical world we find ourselves living in. Go out and do something free. Learn a skill. That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out all the different ways of getting stuff accomplished that I need to get accomplished when things are hard to find or laws are getting passed. That's all I do most of the time in my free time. All right. Until then, peace.